Hi, I'm Stacey and welcome to my Book Nook. Welcome to November's Pick and Mix TBR, and I am very excited about this. But I have some bad news to start off with because I have been in a massive reading slump. It has not been good. So, spoiler alert, I did not do well with October's Pick and Mix TBR. So let's get on into that then. So, for October's Pick and Mix TBR, the first roll was a Sweets Colour pick, which is pink. And for this, I chose The Daughter of Dr. Moreau. There we go. Daughter of Dr. Moreau. And I have started reading this, and I intend to finish it before the end of the month. So hopefully I'll finish this one. For Priority TBR, which was my next roll, I was going to read Babel by R.F. Kuang. I did read this, and I did enjoy it. And I will wrap it up properly in my October wrap-up, which will come out the beginning of November, I expect. For the third roll, which was a TBR vet, I picked The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey, and I haven't read this. I have not. And apparently I'm doing very badly with reading TBR vets, so we'll see. I was actually kind of excited for that one, but I just have not been able to read a lot. I think Babel took me a very long time to read. My fourth roll was Contemporary or Romance, and for this I picked Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Unfortunately, I haven't read that one either, even though I really, really want to. My fifth roll was a TBR jar, and that was the first sentence challenge. Now, I did pick a book for this. I picked the Wisteria Society for... can't remember. And it's by India Holton, I want to say. I'll pop it up here anyway, so you'll know, even if I don't. So I did pick one. I had it on hold from Libby, and I had it. And I read about 2 pages of it. And then by the time I was going to get round to reading it again, that it had been too long. And it's back on hold. So, no, I didn't read this one. And that's where we're at with it. And my final space was a friend pick. It was going to be a buddy read with my sister of Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And I also didn't read that. And I don't know when we're going to get round to it, but we will get round to it at some point. But she didn't read it either, so it's not just me that time. But it is mostly my fault. So yeah, didn't do amazingly. And I'm hoping that I can redeem myself with this month's. So let's get into the rolls. Welcome to the Pick and Mix TBR for November. And today we're using this dice here. And we're going to be using the One Ring again. And today we have some jelly beans for our sweets pick, if that comes up. So, let's make a start, shall we? So, first thing we've got is a 7. Oh, there we go. There's the camera. So we've got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excellent. We've got a friend pick, which is brilliant because I got my other half to pick a book already. So I already know what that's going to be. On to the second roll, which is a 4. There we go, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going quite nicely. So that's a sweets pick. And that's a white. Next one is a 2. I have a feeling this is going to be a long one. So 1, 2. So for that one we've got a fantasy genre. So just there, green is fantasy. Roll number 4. What's that? Is that a 6? That's a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. It's a TBR vet. So it's gotta happen, doesn't it? Get really good ones, then you get a TBR vet. Let's roll. Roll number 5. Oh, that is a nice big number, so that is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's some romance or contemporary. Okay. Going on to roll number 6. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is a TBR jar. Let's go for it, shall we? So, got our TBR jar. And let's scrunch those up a bit there. Right, I'm going for this one. This one is out of your comfort zone. Okay. And the last one, hopefully, will just be the end. Yeah. So that, just in case you can't see that, that was a 10. And we'll just pop it on the end. And then I get to pick whichever one of these ones I would like to do. I'm tempted to do a mood read. And I also really want to do the TBR jar because it's quite a lot of fun. Let's do the TBR jar, shall we? Whatever this one is. If it's horrible, I take it back. Set in a city or a town. Interesting. And that concludes the rolls for today. So on to the next part. Right, so you'll have seen the rolls now, which is great. And I am going to tell you what I have picked. So for this, I've done something a bit different because I have a couple of things that I would like to do in November. One of those is a readathon, and one of them is, I guess it's also a readathon. But I'll just tell you briefly about them now, and then I'll get into what I've picked for them after I tell you the books. So, the first one I wanted to talk about was Knock It Out November, which is being hosted by Cassidy at Covers with Cassidy. And this one is to just kind of get all your goals for the year done. Like, just knock it out, as it says. So, some of the goals that I had at the beginning of the year were like reading. I had a little list of books that I wanted to read. I'd like to finish that off. I wanted to read books by POC authors. I wanted to read more male or non-binary authors because I read a lot of female authors. And I wanted to read like the end of series, more fairy loot books, etc. And I do still want to read a horror. So this is kind of, it's just setting yourself some goals and get through the things that we'll be meaning to get to. And the next one that I wanted to do, which sounds so fun, is West End Reads Readathon, and this is hosted by Chloe at Persistent Bookworm. And I will put both of those links to their videos down below. And this one is to do with musicals. And she's done so many. There's so many musicals. But she's got prompts for so many musicals. And I have them all on a giant list here because I thought, oh, I'll write them all down and then I'll just connect them to my books. So there's things like, this is funny, Cats, and the prompt for that one is a book with a bad adaptation. Love that. And then we've got Greece set in a school, so I want to be taking part in that too. And you kind of have to read a book and then do something to do with the musical that the prompt is for. So I'll be watching some musical films or listening to the songs or the soundtrack, or maybe going to see a show. I don't have a lot of money at the moment, so I doubt that's going to be it, but I would love to go and see some of these shows. Yeah, so that sounds fun too. And now to get on to the books I picked for the rolls. So the first roll was going to be a friend pick, and I actually got my amazing other half, Leigh, to pick out some books for me. And the first one that he picked out for me, actually no, the first one he picked out for me, I'll tell you about in a minute. This was the second one he picked out for me, and I am eternally grateful because he picked The Blood Traitor by Lynette Noni. And this is the third book in the Prison Healer series. And here's where I can't do a very good description. Okay, so we're following, who are we following again? Kiva. We're following Kiva, and she's been through a lot since the first book. So she starts off in prison as the prison healer, and there's a set of trials, there's royalty, there's a bunch of really cool elemental magic, and this is the third one. And I love this series, really do, and I've been meaning to get to this for ages. And he picked this based on purely the cover. I think maybe in the back of his mind he knew that I was trying to get to this, but he picked it based on the cover. So I'm very happy about that. The second one that he actually picked was Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. Yeah. And that one's got some less than stellar reviews, but he picked it based on the cover again, and the cover is really beautiful. But so if I manage to read these books, then I will also pop that on there and pick a prompt and things for the readathons. So it's a backup book. The next one that I got was a sweets pick, and that is the colour white. And for this one, I've picked out Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. And this one follows obviously Ariadne and the myths surrounding her. And I don't know loads about it. I just know that it's a retelling and it's Greek mythology. And I've been meaning to get to this for ages. This one was on my books. There we go. It was on my books to read at the beginning of the year, and I still haven't got to it. So this is going onto my TBR. So fingers crossed. What I've kind of done is I can potentially combine these. So the Blood Traitor for the third prompt is fantasy, and I could use the Blood Traitor for that as well. But if I manage to read more, then I'm thinking I might read the next saga graphic novel. I think I will be on volume 3 when that happens, if that happens, so hopefully saga for that one. Roll 4 was a TBR vet, and I've combined this one. I've combined it with Roll 5, which was contemporary or romance, and I have picked Crazy Rich Asians by Kwan, because I've had this for such a long time. It was gifted to me by my lovely sister, and I just haven't got to it. So I figure, why not? We'll try to get to this one. And this, I don't know loads about this. I specifically haven't seen the film because I wanted to read it first. I don't know. So I don't know loads about it. All I know is that it's a woman meeting her, I don't know, boyfriend, fiance's family, and they are the crazy rich Asians in question. That is all I know. And the final... Oh, no, I've combined this one as well. So I've got a TBR jar out of my comfort zone. So for this one, I could potentially read a horror, which is kind of what I would like to do. And if I do that, I'm hoping to read a T. Kingfisher horror, hopefully. But the one that I've put on here is also combining with the final space, which was another TBR jar, which is set in a city or a town. And for both of those, I have picked Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I've got the really pretty, I think it's the Waterstones edition, very pretty. And this one is Dark Academia, which is why it's a bit out of my comfort zone. Although I did enjoy Babel, so maybe it won't be soon. And it's set in a city. And all I know is that it follows Alex Stern, who is a unlikely member of Yale's freshman class. And it also deals with secret societies and some mysteries and things, and it sounds pretty fun. Sounds like I might enjoy this more than your average Dark Academia. So we'll see. So for Cassidy's Knock It Out November, one of the things that I really wanted to do was read more of the books that I put on my list at the beginning of the year, and two of those books fit this. So Ariadne fits this, and so does Ninth House. So both of these I will be reading for that one, hopefully. And then one of my goals is also to to finish some series, and that's perfect for The Blood Traitor, as it is the last book in the series. So hopefully that one is for that one. And I would also like to read some more male authors and POC authors, and Kwan fits the bill for both of those. So that's what I'm thinking for Knock It Out November. Now, the West End Reads Readathon. If I read more than these 4 books, then I'll just add to this. But in the meantime, these are my options. So let's start with Crazy Rich Asians. So for this one, her prompt for Miss Saigon is another culture, which will work perfectly for this. Or I could do Come From Away, the prompt for that, which is a book set in another country. So both of those would work for Crazy Rich Asians. Now, for Ariadne, I would really quite like to do both of these. So the prompt for And Juliet, which I really badly want to see, is a retelling. Perfect, Greek myth retelling. And then we've also got the prompt for Hadestown, which also sounds great. And the prompt for that is mythology. So both of those would work for Ariadne. And then we have The Blood Traitor. And the one that I'm thinking for this is 6, which is one of my absolute, I love 6, the musical. It's amazing. The prompt for that is royalty, and this does have royals in it. So that would work. It could potentially also work for the prompt for Wicked, which is villains. It does have villains in here. Maybe Wicked. I just want to listen to the Wicked soundtrack, okay? That's what I want to do. And then we've got Ninth House. And this one worked out so well because the prompt that I had for the actual game was out of my comfort zone, which is also a prompt for the West End Reads Readathon. Oh my god, okay. And that is the prompt for Legally Blonde, which is also an incredible musical. I love the songs. So Legally Blonde for Out of Your Comfort Zone. And then we've also got another one that this could fit for, which is the prompt for Mamma Mia, which is a mystery. So potentially that. But absolutely Legally Blonde, it's gonna happen. That concludes my Pick and Mix TBR. Let me know what you thought of any of those books, whether you're taking part in the readathons that I am. As I said before, I will definitely link them down below because they're going to be great. I am so excited. Yeah, let me know. Tell me all the good stuff. And thank you so much for watching. And make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.